Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Johanna and welcome to my cozy book space. So for today's video, we're going to be doing my January wrap up. I read 12 books in the month of January, so let's get right into it. First book that I ended up reading in the month of January was Sweet Prison by Neva Altaj. This is book 10 in her Perfectly Imperfect series. So we have a dark mafia romance. This is also a step siblings romance, a forbidden romance, if you will. We have our hero who actually ends up going to prison for killing the man that killed his brother, and his father is the Don and married this woman who had like two kids, I believe. I think that's how it goes. So he is in prison, but he really is the mastermind behind this mafia, this family. His father doesn't really do anything. He's kind of just the face, but he pulls the strings. And he's in prison for a very, very long time. And he ends up having the female main heroine sending him letters. At first does not reply, but then he sees the potential of her being his spy. And so that's kind of what it turns into. I will say that I liked this towards the second half of the book. The first half of the book, the female main character and the hero are apart. That is not my favorite thing when it is a romance. I love my characters to be together for most of the book, if not all of it. I just felt like the letter exchange back and forth, I just didn't really connect to those and didn't connect to the characters. I did like our heroine. She was different from any other heroine I have read. She was definitely timid at the beginning and then she really grows into herself. I did also like our hero. You know, he's your typical mafia, grumpy, bad, fine hero. Okay, I did enjoy him as well. The spice was amazing. The tension was there. I just didn't really connect as much as I wanted to with this book specifically. I think the main thing was that our characters were just apart for way too long, and they do definitely fight their attraction once the hero gets out of prison. So it was just kind of iffy for me. So I ended up giving it 3 stars. The next book that I ended up reading was A Beacon by Claire Kent. This is the last book in the Kindled series. We finally get a hero that we have seen throughout the entire Kindled series and a heroine that we also have seen in through the entire Kindled series. They definitely have something going on. You can see it in the background of the previous books. I am so sorry. I'm going to continue to saying hero and heroine because I cannot remember the names of these people. I think for Beacon it's Mac and Anna. I'm like 99% positive, so let's go with that. So Mac was definitely in some sort of military, navy, whatever it may be before the apocalypse hit. And then Anna was in a very abusive marriage. So she's definitely very skittish on that front. And that is why I believe that Mac and Anna don't get together or are in an official relationship for so long. And we kind of get to see past and present. We do have our main hero, Mac. He is hiding out in a cabin for something that happened in the previous book, book 7. We have Anna who goes and searches for him, trying to get him out of his head and as well as out of this cabin and back into like civilization. Mac is definitely going through a lot of things mentally. He saw a lot of things and he kind of hit his breaking point. Anna has been traveling around trying to find her roots, where she is needed. She's always had this love for Mac, but she never wanted Mac to settle for less. And Mac never wanted to be something that Anna needed, or like to be Anna's crutch, if you will, or be something that holds her back from everything that she wants to do. So this was definitely a beautiful, beautiful story. There is also action and plot, of course, with other sections and other parties in this post-apocalyptic world. But of course, I'm always here for the romance, and Claire Kent's writing is absolutely beautiful. The way that she writes romance and the sex scenes are just iconic. I love them so much, and I definitely felt for both of our characters. I definitely felt a lot for Mac because he's just kind of been this rock for a lot of the characters in this series, and I'm so glad to finally have his HEA, and I thought that it was very well done, so I ended up giving it 4 stars. Then I did end up doing a reread of Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I did end up listening to the audiobook of this and I really, really enjoyed it. This was our hero Beat and our heroine Melody. They kind of have to come together to try to get their mom band back together since they had a falling out, and to win some money because our hero is getting blackmailed. Our heroine Melody, of course, says yes, and they do like this reality TV show of trying to get the band back together, and they kind of realize their feelings. And you know, I love Tessa Bailey. I gave this 4 stars again upon reread because I absolutely loved it. The tension, the spice, the spice is so good. Like Tessa Bailey never fails with that, and I just loved it. I loved it so much, and it was a very good reread, especially during the Christmas slash winter time. Then I ended up reading the second book in the My Vampire series by Jenna Levine. This one is called My Vampire Plus One. This is the hero from the first book's best friend. This one I gave 3 stars to. I really enjoyed it. I did listen to the first book and this second book on audio, and I will say that if I was reading this physically or on an ebook, I might have DNF'd it, but because I was listening to it on audiobook and I can listen to a book a day at work, then this is just something that I can just listen to it like, you know, mindlessly kind of throughout the day. I just think that this one, we have a heroine who does taxes and we have a hero who's kind of running away from these people that he pissed off like 100 years ago. So we have that plot, and then we have the hero and our heroine getting to know each other and kind of fake dating because the heroine asks for him to fake date her and be her fake boyfriend to a wedding just so her family doesn't literally beat on her about her being single. And you know, I liked the fake dating. I do love me some fake dating. I just thought that, you know, the heroine not really believing the hero when he was literally saying he's a vampire this entire time was kind of crazy. The spice was good though. Yeah, just it was good for what it was. 3 stars. I don't have much to say about that one. Then we have Empire of Temptation by Mila Finelli. This is a new series by her. This is the New York State of Mafia, book 1. And we have our hero who is a mafia don, and we have our heroine, I believe Valentina. Damiano and Valentina. Is that what it is? Girl, I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Basically, Damiano ends up going to New York to stalk and possibly kidnap our heroine Valentina because Valentina's father is someone that Damiano is looking for. There are definitely other things in the background that, you know, for the plot, the hero kind of goes to New York to possibly kidnap the heroine, like I said, but he is kind of biding his time because he doesn't really believe what other people are saying and like the rumors that are going around. So, anyways, our hero and our heroine end up meeting at our heroine's restaurant, an Italian restaurant, if you will, and it's very mid. The hero tells her so first day. There is a lot of things going on in Valentina's life that, you know, things are just kind of not looking so great. And then we have our billionaire mafia Italian hot sexy daddy hero going in and saving her, saves her restaurant, provides, you know, like he just takes care of her. Like he literally spoils her, takes care of her. And the spice, Mila Finelli spice, if she's gonna do something 100%, it's the spice. This book was filthy. I will say that. I absolutely loved it. I just had the best time. I mean, I always have the best time with Mila Finelli books. I also truly loved our heroine. She was like a no bullshit type of heroine, and she didn't take the hero shit at all. She literally ate, and I just love her. I love her outfits. I love the way that she dresses. I love her attitude. I love everything about her. I thought this was so entertaining, so fun. I loved it. Gave it 4 stars. Then I ended up reading Under the Oak Tree Volume 1 by Suji Kim. This one, you guys, I started reading physically because this was a gifted book for me, and the, you know, the cover, the sprayed edges, everything about it is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. But I will say the chapters are like 50 years long. Like they're 100 pages in a chapter. Like I don't understand who did that. So because of that, I literally put this book down and never picked it back up because I was so unmotivated to pick up this book when the chapters were so long. I ended up getting the audiobook for this, and I will be continuing this series on audiobook and will be unhauling my beautiful stunning edition. I know, I'm so sorry, but I just don't think that I need these physically, especially because I gave this first book 3.5 stars just for the simple fact that we do have kind of like a period of time where the characters are not together. The hero ends up going like traveling, and I will say this is like a historical fantasy romance. I think that you could categorize it, don't quote me on that. So we have a heroine who has a stuttering problem, and she definitely has been physically abused and mentally abused by her father, and she ends up getting married to our hero right before our hero goes on a mission to kill this dragon. And they kind of get married thinking that the hero is not going to survive this. The heroine and the hero literally meet the one day they have their wedding night, and then he leaves the next day without saying bye. The heroine doesn't really like have high hopes or like high expectations for this hero, and she kind of stays at this palace while the hero goes out and kills this dragon. I think it takes about 2 years, and she stays here still getting like abused by her father. She's definitely considered a disgrace to her family. And then when the hero comes back, he immediately goes searching for her. He definitely feels inadequate for our heroine because he believes that he is at the bottom of the barrel type of man to deserve like this princess heroine. He thinks that the heroine is like a spoiled princess and he is like a stable hand. Like he's just like this lowly man and he has now become a knight because he ended up killing this dragon. And so he comes and gets her and like they definitely have like they start off their relationship on the wrong foot because the hero has his assumptions and the heroine has hers. And she is very timid at the beginning of this book. Like I would say for like about half of this book, she's very timid and like kind of scared to speak up. This is a very character driven series. I believe there's going to be like a lot of books. I think I don't know. If you're not really into character driven books, then this is definitely not going to be for you. But because I listened to this on audiobook, I think I found it very like entertaining and easy to listen to instead of like eyeball reading it. I just love the heroine with the hero. Like I just love the romance. And there's like magic in here. We have like other side characters. We have like this big fantasy world and like different areas. So it's not something like set in a small setting, if you will. So I was very entertained, really enjoyed it, which is why I want to continue and see if I will continue to enjoy it in the second book whenever that comes out. But yeah, for the first book, 3.5 stars. I don't think that's a bad rating. I did round it up to a 4-star on Goodreads. And then I ended up rereading Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I'm not really going to go into too much into this because I'm going to be doing a Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm reading vlog, and that should be up here soon, so stay tuned. But yeah, I did end up rereading that. I ended up picking up The Moon and His Tides by Giana Darling. This is the first book in the Impossible Universe trilogy. This came out in January and I was not going to read it because you know me, I love to read a trilogy or a series when all the books are out. In most cases, with this one, I knew that entire trilogy was going to be out this year, so I was just going to wait until all of them were out so I could binge them. But I ended up getting an arc, so I ended up reading it just so I could leave a review, you know, and post on all my social media because I do love Giana Darling, so I do love to, you know, shout out her books and make you guys aware of her books. But anyways, beside the point, we have our last Lombardi sibling, Sebastian. He is 18 at the beginning of this book and he goes to London, I believe. He ends up being a chauffeur for our heroine, Savannah, I believe. I'm really bad with character names, y'all. I'm so sorry. She is actually the wife of this famous actor named Adam. And Sebastian has always known of Adam, if that's his name, because he's has definitely been like an idol for him. And Sebastian is definitely trying to get into the acting, screenwriting career. He has a lot of potential. He is this fine Italian man, and he is looking for a love so big, like the universe. And he just believes in love, and he is so passionate, and he is so sexy, and he is just young and naive. Then we have our married couple. Their relationship, their marriage is definitely on the rocks. We get to see that from the beginning. I will say that the heroine is very hard to love. I feel like our heroine is not going to be someone that a lot of people will love, at least especially in this first book. I believe the second book is going to be more about her. You know, Adam, he is definitely in the closet. He is struggling with the fact that he loves men, but he also loves his wife. Bringing in Sebastian really kind of makes this throuple what it is, and it becomes something really beautiful, but it can't last, of course, when the foundation is cracked. And this was absolutely brutal towards the ending. We already know from the first book that they're not going to be an HGA. There's going to be a cliffhanger because there's 3 books in the trilogy, of course. So I already knew that it wasn't going to end very well. And you guys, I was so heartbroken. Like, I just want my baby Sebastian to be okay. Like, I just want him to find this impossible love, and he just needs to be loved. And I was just so hurt. And I definitely connected a lot with Adam as well. Like, he was just equally as hurt, and he definitely has trauma that he has to go through. And I loved him so much. I think obviously Sebastian and then Adam and then Savannah for me, but I know that I'll probably end up loving Savannah as well. And this was just tragically beautiful. This was painful. This was so good, but it's Gianna Darling, so I wasn't expecting anything less. I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. Are we surprised? I am not. Then we have, oh my god, maybe that's not his name. In Empire of Temptation, I don't know what the hero's name is. Then we have When She Unravels by Gabrielle Sands. I think the hero of this one is named Damiano. Is her name Valentina too? Oh, this is why I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. Anyways, I ended up reading When She Unravels. We have our hero who is in the mafia, and we have our heroine who is also part of a mafia family, but she is definitely going through something in her arranged marriage. check your trigger warnings. This is a dark mafia romance, and she ends up saving someone, and because she saves this person, she ends up having to run away as well with this person that she has to like hide, because if she is found, she'll probably get killed. She runs to Ibiza and she ends up running into our hero at this club. She is looking for a job. Obviously, she's trying to start her life anew and she barely has anything to start it with. So she's definitely on a struggle bus, and the hero here ends up assumes that she's a spoiled princess and doesn't want to give her the job, but then she's like, give me a week and I will get this job. And that's how their relationship goes. I love that the heroine didn't take any of the hero's shit, and I love that the hero just absolutely fell in love with this woman and she really worked for what she wanted. And she definitely was struggling with some things mentally, especially because of her past marriage. I did think that her not knowing that the hero was part of the mafia was kind of like, girl, come on now, like you come from a mafia family, like put two and two together. And then I did see the person that she saved and what that person correlates to in the plot. Like I saw that coming like a mile away. You know what, I will say that I liked the way that this played out, and I love that there was a little bit of a captor captive moment there and then a little bit of a torture scene there, but like also filled with sexual tension. Like I loved it. It was so good. I ended up giving it 4 stars, and I will be continuing in this series for sure. Then I ended up reading Sugar Dusted Dad Bod by Cassie Mint. This is my first novella of the year. I feel like I didn't read a lot of novellas in 2024, but anyways, I had to go back to my one true love, Cassie Mint, and this one was about a hero who owns a bakery, and our heroine works for the hero, and of course they have been pining for each other for the longest time, and then it finally ends up happening, and it's a spicy good old time, and it's very cute, and I loved it. I gave it 3 stars. And then I also ended up reading Iron Flame, like I said, in January, but I will not be going into too much depth about this book because I do go into depth in my reading vlog, so definitely stay tuned, you guys. And then last book I ended up reading for the month of January was Dirty Deal by Cassie Mint. This one was so fun. I actually loved this one. I gave it 4 stars. We have a heroine who has to like kind of travel back. I am so sorry about the lighting. We're just gonna finish this video out. It is what it is, you guys. I've been filming a lot today. But anyways, a Dirty Deal, we have our heroine who has to kind of come back to her hometown and to her family because her family, her mother and her father, have a gambling problem. Like they have a money problem, and they are horrible in this story. They're horrible. Like the parents, like what the fuck? Like the heroine shouldn't even be doing any of this for the parents. Like anyways, besides the point. So she ends up going to her father's mentor. This mentor is our hero. He ended up buying the casino that the heroine's father used to own. He put up with a lot of shit, especially from the father and like her family, and he definitely labels her as a spoiled princess. So he definitely has this hatred towards her, but more so towards her family. The heroine ends up going to this casino to see the hero, and she has been pining for the hero like since she's known him. She begs him to help out her family, and they come up with a dirty deal, if you will. He will have 5 days with her, and he can do whatever he wants with her in those 5 days. They just come up with a lot of filthy things that they want to do. There's a lot of degradation in here, not necessarily like in a sexual way, but he like makes her clean every employee's shoes, things like that. But like there's also this sexual tension, and like they both have been binding over each other. And then when the hero realizes that he's fucked up, like the way that the heroine flips it on him, and there's good boy thrown around in here, it was just a spicy good old time. I really loved this one. That was the last book that I ended up reading in January. Hopefully this was a quick and easy video. I haven't done a wrap up in so long, but I definitely want to get back into doing them. Let me know what your favorite book of January was, and if you don't want to comment any of that, but you want to let me know that you made it to the end of the video, then go ahead and leave me a snowflake emoji because we're still in winter. It's so cold. It's supposed to rain literally on Wednesday for me. I am not ready. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.